Hello, Cancer. Thank you so much for being here. And a big thank you to all of you who followed me over to the new channel. I love you guys. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, Cancer. So before I get started, just to remind everybody, I read from Sun, Moon, and Rising, but feel free to apply this message to wherever Cancer is in your chart. And please make sure that you're only taking in the messages that resonate with you. All right, Cancer, so this time you pulled transgression, impasse, and hiding your true self. This is like wondering why every time you think that you're going down the right path, you keep getting blocked. Like, why am I continuously being blocked here? But then, the mistake here would be that you keep taking the same path. But this is like a kick in the ass from the universe reminding you that you're not finding freedom because you're not being true to yourself. That this isn't where you're meant to go. It's not a no with impasse. It's saying that you need to take a different route. If you continue to think that you have to do things in a certain way, you're going to be blocked. It's almost like it's intentional. Like the subconscious mind, the higher self is stepping in and going, no, you can't keep going on this path. So transgression, the blessing talks about how when we go against our integrity, our soul will let us know. And it says if we continue to deny that inner voice, the universe will show us where we are going wrong. And then working with this card talks about making amends, taking stock, assess and redirect, and come back into harmony with the voice of your own soul. I mean, it's so loud and clear, right? But for some of you, you may not be understanding what the hell is going on. And you may not see where that redirection is. But if you continue to keep trying to force it, all you're going to see is the block. You won't see, where you can go around the things that are blocking the path. But it's all coming back to this being who you are. Now, impasse, it talks about the reroute. It says this is a reroute, not an ending. The path is blocked. You are at an impasse, but the goal is still there. Do not wait for your present situation to change. Stay focused and find another path. So you may be stuck with this, like waiting for something to happen in order for things to clear up. But that's not how this is going to work for you this time. You're going to have to find a way around. Now, the personal question talks about how adaptable are you? And what is this revealing about your feelings and your reactions to delays? The key ideas talk about change of direction, regroup, and refocus. It's all of them are all saying the same thing, but it's talking about protection from harm and guardian angels too. Which, when you have your soul screaming at you and you're not listening, and then the universe has to step in, and then you're having messages about protection. Clearly, the path that you are trying to go down may be something that eventually is going to cause you harm, right? And that may be a better way to look at why you're being blocked right now. Because the minute that there's that kind of acceptance, that's when you start to see where there's a different way around or a different path to take, right? So now hiding your true self. And this makes sense because a lot of times we're afraid to be who we really are in fear of rejection from others. Like as soon as you start to express who you really are, there's going to be that rejection. But the thing is if that's the case, then those are not the people that you want to have in your life. You shouldn't have to be in situations where you have to be somebody else. So hiding your true self. It says hiding is keeping things inside. Lack of trust becomes lack of hope. So there must be a limit. The sentence says, you could be in front of the mirror or you could hide behind the mirror, yet you choose to be the mirror. Meaning that everything is being reflected back to you. But if you're not being who you really are, then what's being reflected back isn't a true manifestation of who you really are or what you really want, right? Now, besides that, though, there's the whole how hiding is a survival instinct, right? We do that to protect ourselves from feelings of rejection. But it talks about how, this is the time for you to be who you are. It says a purification process that brings in oxygen and turns away age and wear. It is bliss and pleasure. A huge reminder that when we are allowed to be who we truly are, you will experience the bliss that you are meant to experience. The peace, the tranquility, not having to worry about what other people are going to think of you. But it's interesting how it's almost like you almost need your higher self in the universe to go, yeah, enough of this. You can't keep going down this path, right? And that is the only mistake that's being made right now. Now, for others of you, this may be a situation where a mistake may have been made, but the ability to make amends is being blocked. But that is coming from your own reflection, right? So if you're being honest with yourself and true to yourself, maybe this is a situation where you can't continue down this path anymore. And that may be due to resentment. And that's only going to be for some of you, right? You're overall the Queen of Wands. I love her. I love her when she shows up. And I don't care how you identify. This is about what is being internalized. And this is where the best parts of you start to come out. Now, this could be about, a person that you are focused on that is bringing this kind of like passion and attraction out of you. But, the Queen of Wands, right? She has the ability to influence others to follow their own passion. But I'm seeing, the better part of you coming out, feeling good about yourself, looking good, right? And being able to freely express that, where I think maybe the path that you have consistently been on has blocked you from being able to do that. But we're talking about the manager here, right? She knows how to deal with groups of people. But attraction, passion, feeling good, looking good, right? And it may be an influence coming from someone else, though, too. In the past, the Eight of Cups, right? Needing to walk on. Realizing that emotionally you can no longer invest into something anymore. It has completely drained you. There is nothing left that you can give. The problem is where are you moving to, right? There's always that, I don't know where I'm going. I just know I need to go. So some of you may still be in the process of walking away from something. And for some of you, you may be like on that path where everything is being blocked and you don't know really where you're going, but you can't turn back around on this, right? And then the other part of the Eight of Cups for me has always been this. It's easy enough to tell you to walk away from something that isn't fulfilling. But when you have invested so much of yourself into it, especially emotionally, that's hard to do. But I almost feel like there is an awareness that this needs to happen. In the present, the Eight of Pentacles. So absolutely, for some of you, this is about walking away from career situations that are not fulfilling what you are wanting. The Eight of Pentacles here, though, in the present moment, this is where you're putting in some hard work, paying attention to the details. But this is something you know how to do well, which to me makes me feel like, this isn't something new to you. You've had to go through this before. But the thing is this time I feel like you're willing to put in the effort necessary. But this could also be you finally walking away from something where you're in more control over what you're working on, how you're getting paid, right? Again, the manager, right? You're running the show. You're running the business. You know how to do things here. And you're just refining that. It's become perfection, right? But in regards to the Eight of Cups, there's this feeling of you've done this before. You're well versed in having to go through situations like that. Oh yeah. Future conditions, and you have Scorpio showing up. So death, right? Transformation, and transformation of you. But this is, needing to accept the ending in order for the transformation to take place. And it really is about, the death of the old personality. And it's not that that personality, is just dead and gone. It's changing. If it were not for the old personality, you would not be able to go through the transformation process, right? But with death, one of the things that I like to remind people here is that when you're looking at this one, there are three things that come along with this. It's either acceptance, fear, or rejection, right? But death is coming. You either go along with it or you're going to get dragged kicking and screaming, but it's happening. It's something that I don't think that can be avoided anymore. But the thing is, if you've been hanging on to this, still trying to move away from it, right, then the question is how much effort have you been putting into this versus, a transformation with you and what you choose to put your effort and attention into. But finally, you're getting to that place now where the old is done, the new is coming in. And with the Queen of Wands, beautiful, right? For anybody, this is a beautiful transformation. Your best path to follow, the King of Pentacles. I look at this and I think, first of all, we're talking about success. But knowing what is worth taking risks on. But this is also, I feel like, if we're talking about a transformation of yourself, it's making sure that you're only allowing yourself to be available to people who, are willing to give just as much as you are, especially in terms of relationships. So this may be, needing to focus on the right people. Also, the right people in business that will help you continue to progress, right? But, who are you willing to take risks on? And where have you done that before that has led you to this place of needing to move away, move on with the Eight of Cups, right? But I like these two. I mean, that's a powerhouse right there. This is almost like connecting with the right person to help you launch something. And once that happens, there's this deep transformation of who you are, where you're no longer wasting your emotional effort and passion into something that is not going anywhere or giving you anything or giving you what you expect. And for some of you, you may completely change course when it comes to the people that you connect with. In your environment, beautiful, the Six of Wands. Victory, positive recognition and attention for a job well done. With the Eight of Pentacles, you're damn right that better be there. But this may be recognition of what you're doing, though, too. And this may be where, you are looking at making better partnerships in terms of business, right? It's almost like somebody comes in and sees what you're doing. But it changes you. It changes who you are. But I love that this is there because to me, it does kind of goes back to this feeling of, another person that has a better influence on you in a way where you're not having to deal with situations where you have to walk away from them, right? But as far as work, this looks great. It's finally getting the recognition for what you do because you do it well. But I'm interested to see how this transformation is coming out. Oh, You got Scorpio and you got Gemini coming out here. The Lovers as your hopes and fears. And again, the people that you are willing to take risks on. And they should only be people who are willing to put in the same amount of effort that you do. Because the King of Pentacles has everything he needs to provide to a situation to continue to make it successful. And those are the only people you want to be connecting with, right? So some of you, though, may be fearing that the connection is based on temptation, if this is romantic. But others of you, you may be looking at this like, I finally made the right choice. And it may be that, you know, as you're kind of going through this walking away from one situation and putting your attention somewhere else, that something comes along and completely changes you. But there's success all over this. But this is significant. You know, we're not talking about just having an emotional connection or a good partnership. Right? This is really where you feel like your heart belongs. And like coming out the Nine of Wands. All right, so having your guard up, right? Having been put through too much with that Eight of Cups, and it makes sense that, you know, in the process of transformation, when it comes to connecting with other people, especially in relationships, that, you know, you got some boundaries now. You can't cross this line. But are we talking about you letting your guard down now in a way where you're not anticipating getting involved with situations that leave you emotionally drained, right? Yeah, the Four of Pentacles. This is something that's been hard for you to let go of, I think. Oh. Look at that. Four of Pentacles and looking at the Eight of Cups, especially with the Nine of Wands, immediately it's, you know, I don't know who I am if I let this go. And that's why we're looking at death attached to this. Three of Pentacles with the Eight of Pentacles, you're not alone. This is about collaboration. And it is about positive recognition that may be coming through. Some of you may be working really hard on yourself. And you're well-versed in having to go through shit like this, so you know what it takes to cause the transformation that's needed within you. But, you know, again, it would make sense that you go through all of this so that you don't have to repeat this anymore. You're not wanting to have to experience that again, so the boundary is put in place. And this is, I'm only willing to put in the same amount of effort if you're willing to do the same. And with the King of Pentacles, yeah, absolutely he will, right? He, she, them, they, whoever this person may be to you. But clearly here, right, this is such a powerful connection. But it has this feeling of there being, you know, more tangible results in your outer world, where you're not left guessing on, you know, am I wasting my emotions, or, you know, are they being appreciated? And I go back to the Eight of Cups with that. But then you have the King of Cups, right? So if we're talking about you, Cancer, we're talking about you being emotionally available, that, or we're talking about that equally happening between you and another person. And not only that, but I'm looking at this and I'm thinking about, if you're dealing with another person, as far as the King of Cups, this is somebody absolutely who will understand 100% why you have the boundary. But they're still working with you, right? Like, I understand that you're not willing to open up and have anything else taken from you. Like, I need you to show me that you're willing to put in the effort. Now, for some of you, if we're talking about, you know, if you keep going down the same road in terms of a love situation here, right? I'm looking at death, and I'm looking at this thinking, no, you can't go back to that. That's over now. Be careful about letting your guard down and letting something come back in if, they're not willing to put in the same amount of effort, right? Sorry, Cancer, but I don't want to see that for you with this situation. I want to see you in a much better situation that truly reflects the emotional openness and depth that you have. You don't want to continue to have situations reflected back to you where you're like, emotions have been wasted, now I have to move on and I don't know where I'm going or what's going to happen. But I can't help but feel like, the work that you're doing is going to attract a certain amount of attention. And there's this change that's happening with this. Passion. Gratitude. And awakening. So, finally taking a different route, right? Having passion return to you in a way where it brings up feelings of gratitude, and then the awakening happens. That's powerful, man. But I feel like this is going to be, in looking at this specifically, it's going to be a situation that's going to come into your awareness where it brings up feelings of gratitude, almost like the universe finally heard me. But, when we're looking at impasse and looking at transgression and this whole like needing to redirect, right? I really feel like the important thing here is, like it says, not to wait for outside circumstances to change. Because if you're already coming in with this, then it's time to move on, right? Cleansing waters, purification, activates vibrant life force. I love when this one shows up. Purification of your soul. And your soul is screaming at you right now. Reaching your destination. Your light is shining brightly. As soon as you clear up all the garbage that has prevented you from seeing the full completion of the path that you're on, right? That's when you finally reach the destination. It's almost like when you don't want it, it finally comes through. But you have to beat yourself up over the head a couple of times, before it's like, oh, okay, now I'm listening, right? I love it. I love the reading. Thank you so much, Cancer, for being here. I hope that this helped. And I hope to see you again soon.